Hi friends, this is Ammu Jayaraj and I have secured All India rank 141 in the Civil Services examination conducted in 2019. So today I would like to share my detailed prelims strategy with the aspirants as prelims is nearing for the 2020 year. So, first of all, I would like to thank Unacademy for giving me such a nice platform for sharing my strategies as well as thoughts regarding civil services examination. Talking about Unacademy, I don't have to tell much about Unacademy to you all because it is one of India's largest learning platforms, and you will be getting a lot of daily live classes and structured courses, live tests and quizzes in the platform. And it is very easy to download Unacademy Learning app also. You can download it either through Google Play or through App Store if you have Apple phone. Now, talking about me, I have done BE Civil Engineering, and only in 2019 I was able to sail through civil services examination, and my optional subject was geography. And talking about my experience with civil services, it was such a long journey because I started my preparation in the year 2014. And unfortunately, I was not able to clear my mains for all the five attempts. And only in my last attempt, I was able to sail through my mains and then the interview stage. So that is why I thought I shall start my session with detailed prelim strategy itself because I was able to comfortably clear prelims for almost all the attempts. So here comes the top educators of Unacademy, and you must be familiar with most of the educators of Unacademy. And the speciality of Unacademy is they will be covering almost all the portions of the syllabus. And their subscription also has a diversity, like for 1 month, uh, or it can be for 3 months, or for 6 months, or even for 1 year. The cost of each subscription is as follows. And there are two types of subscriptions. One is Plus and the other one is Iconic. Regarding Plus, you will be getting live classes, test series, and unlimited practice structured schedule in the case of Plus subscription. And the cost of Plus subscription for 1 year is 44,000, and for 2 years it is 64,000. And if you are using the referral code AMMU, capital AMMU, you will be definitely getting a discount of 10% for this subscription. Now comes the iconic subscription. And in the case of iconic subscription, you will be getting all the benefits of Plus. And apart from that, you will be having a personal coach, daily mains question and answer practice, study planner, and personalized feedback. So somebody will be in touch with you for evaluating your performance. So the cost for iconic subscription for 1 year is 64,000, and for 2 years it is 99,000. And here also, if you are using the referral code capital A, capital M, capital M, capital U, then definitely you will be getting a discount of 10%. So now we shall start our session. So it is about prelim strategy. So, when before starting the prelims preparation, what are the must do things we shall see? One is about syllabus analysis. So, it is we all when I started my civil services preparation, many people used to tell me that civil services is something where anything under the sea could be asked. But it is not actually in that way. You have confined syllabus for prelims as well as for your mains preparation. So, detailed analysis of syllabus is the most important thing. That should be the first thing to be done. Then comes the NCRT textbooks. I won't be recommending you to study all the NCRT textbooks right from the small, that is 8th standard, 9th standard, and all, but at least the NCRT textbooks of 11th and 12th for certain subjects need to be uh, learned, because that will definitely give the base for civil services examination. That will be helpful not only for prelims but also for the mains examination. And then after referring the NCRT textbook, you can go for the standard books. For each subject, there is one standard book, and we shall see in detail the resources to be used for prelims in the further slides. And then the current affairs, which is very, very important as it is specifically being mentioned in the syllabus itself. Current affairs of national and international importance. And then comes the previous year question analysis, which is very, very important and should not be avoided at any cost. And then comes the mock tests. Practicing mocks as much as possible is a key to clear prelims examination. Then only you will know your position, and also you can analyze the pattern of questions being asked in the civil services examination. Now comes the detailed analysis of the syllabus. First, we shall see the paper 1, that is the general studies, where you have current events. Um, you have the current events of national and international importance, as I earlier mentioned. So, not only national but international importance, international relations, international organizations, these are all very, very important. Then comes history of India and Indian national movement. Regarding history of India, you need to learn ancient India, medieval India, and modern India. So modern India comes under this part, that is Indian national movement. And apart from that, they are also asking questions from the art and culture aspect too. Then comes the Indian and world geography, my optional subject. So here, basic things, that is the physical, social, economic geography of India and the world. Uh, this is the confined syllabus for geography. So what you need to see, the general terminologies in geography, general geography, that is all the Earth's interior, climatic regions and all that. And then Indian geography, social and economic geography. All these things you need to cover. Then comes Indian polity and governance. In Indian polity and governance, you need to cover the constitutional aspects. Then comes the political system, that is the political parties, election commission, all that will come under this portion, this part of the syllabus. And then public policies, that is, it can be acts, policies, executive actions, etc. And then comes the rights issues, that is human rights, the bodies responsible for human rights, environmental rights, women's rights, etc. And what are the problems being faced. All these things you need to cover under this. Then comes economic and social development. In this part, you need to cover Indian economy, that is India's economic conditions, and what is its status in agriculture, infrastructure, irrigation, and all that aspects. And apart from that, basic terms in economy such as the inflation, fiscal policies, and monetary policies, etc. And then the banking. So all these are the important things to be covered under economy. And then the social development, which means the demographic indicators, social schemes, etc. Then comes the general issues on environmental ecology. So environment is something which is having a great higher weightage, highest weightage, one of the highest weighed subjects in prelims. So that also you need to cover. What and all? Biodiversity and climate change related topics. Now comes paper 2 syllabus. So paper 2 is all about civil services aptitude test. So here You have the comprehension, that is, there will be a passage, and based on the passage, there will be questions, and you need to answer, give the right option for each questions. So that carries the highest weightage in CSAT exam. And then comes logical reasoning, basic numeracy, and data interpretation. These things, it is almost similar to that of the recruitment tests you would have faced during your college days, or if you have done with some bank exams. So it is almost the same things what they do ask. So otherwise, if you feel that it is something completely a new thing, like if you are not coming from maths or science background, then definitely you can refer R.S. Agarwal book for these topics. And talking about paper 2, CSAT is a qualifying paper, but still I would seriously recommend you to not to ignore this subject, because if you are not clearing CSAT, then they will not be considering the marks of general studies paper. If you are able to qualify prelims, then only you can write your mains as well as you can appear your interview. So CSAT plays a very important role. So you should give adequate importance to CSAT. Now we shall see in detail about all the subjects. The first one is Indian polity and governance. In Indian polity and governance, first I started with NCERT textbook, because I am coming from science background or engineering background, and all these political terms and all were very much new to me. So that is why I started with the base. So which textbook? Class 11 textbook, Constitution at Work. This is a very, very simple book. At the same time, it is very important also, because there were questions. I have observed that there are questions directly being asked from this NCERT textbook. And the best example is this question: right to vote and to be elected in India is a dash right. Fundamental right, natural right, constitutional right, legal right. This question was asked in 2017 prelims, and the answer is constitutional right. There was a confusion between whether this is a constitutional right or a legal right, but this statement was directly picked from Constitution at Work textbook, NCERT Class 11 textbook. And then after going through the NCERT textbook, I shifted to the standard book. Regarding polity, I referred only Indian Polity by Lakshmikant. I did not go through any other textbooks. I followed only Lakshmikant. And after that, I also went through Yojana magazines religiously. Like for example, like my exam, prelims exam was in the month of June 2019. So June 2018 to May 2019 Yojana magazines need to be referred. 1 year monthly magazines of Yojana. Okay, so I do understand that the prelims is nearing for the 2020 aspirants. So those who have not referred Yojana on monthly basis, don't worry. You just focus on your revision, and if at all there is enough time for you to spend, then definitely you can go for the compilations of Yojana. But for the 2021 aspirants, I would seriously recommend you to go through the Yojana magazines religiously from June 2020 to whatever it is, 2000 till 2021. So why am I stressing on Yojana magazine? Because questions are being directly asked from Yojana too. So Yojana is very important for prelims as well as for the mains examination. And this question was directly picked from Yojana magazine. What is a digital signature? And I shall give you the evidence also. See, this came in Yojana magazine of December 2018, and this question was asked in 2019 prelims. So Yojana need to be referred. So this was directly this was the base for the question regarding digital signature. So after covering Yojana, what I did is I referred Wikipedia for understanding important acts and policies. So what I did was I framed one tabular column with 4 to 5 columns. So each column will be like this: current affairs, gender related, environment related, economy related, education, health, like that. I used to have several columns. And under this, I used to jot down all. If under the current affairs, I used to jot down all the current affairs related acts and policies. So, for example, last year we had Labor Code, Maternity Benefit Act. Some amendments were made in the provisions of Maternity Benefit Act. So that was important. And then comes Transgender Protection Act, Prevention of Sexual Harassment at Workplace, like that, gender related whatever acts are there, environment related whatever acts are there. I used to jot it down and I used to refer Wikipedia for each and every acts and policies, and again, I used to jot down the crux of these acts or policies, the major provisions. And I found it very beneficial also because last year there was a question from Maternity Benefit Act in 2019 prelims. Then comes the government schemes. Government schemes are very, very important, and it keeps on changing also. The names also do change, provisions also do change. So you should get updated with the government scheme details and provisions. So for that, I used one of the compilations for government schemes, and then I referred ministries' websites also for the important schemes, that is current affairs related schemes. That is, I can show you the example like FAQ Bharat Yojana, Ayushman Bharat Yojana, and Swachh Bharat Yojana, Swachh Bharat Mission, because uh, in the case of Ayushman Bharat Yojana, it was current affairs related, and in the case of Swachh Bharat Mission, it had lot of relevance last year because the deadline was October 2019. So what I did, I referred FAQs under the, this will be published in the ministry's websites. So if you are referring FAQs for the important schemes, missions and all, you will get a complete or a comprehensive coverage of that particular scheme or mission. Regarding government schemes compilation, they will only give you a superficial knowledge. But if you are covering FAQ, you will have a comprehensive knowledge about the scheme. So that is why for the current affairs related schemes, I used to refer the FAQs published in that particular ministry. So now for Ayushman Bharat Yojana, you can go to the Health Ministry website and you can search whether there are FAQs for Ayushman Bharat Yojana. Then comes Union Budget. Union Budget, I did not refer the entire budget, but I did go through the key highlights of the Union Budget by Press Information Bureau. It will be of around 10 to 12 pages. And apart from that, I also referred one of the Yojana issues which had a full coverage on the budget analysis. I think May issue or something which had full coverage of the interim budget and all. So that I just referred. Then another important thing is about 5-year plans. This is one of the mistakes what I had committed last year because I thought as planning commission has been replaced by Niti Aayog, there will not be any plan related questions being asked. That is what I thought. But UPSC gave me a big surprise. There was a question on plans last year. So guys, don't miss 5-year plans. Just uh, just go through the objectives and targets of each plan. This will be available in the form of tabular column in some of the textbooks. So that alone you can just refer, just go through, have a glance. Okay, you need not go through in detail. Now comes history. So the polity part is over. Now we shall go to the history part. So regarding history, I initially went through the old NCRT textbooks for history. That is the Ancient India by R.S. Sharma, Medieval India by Satish Chandra, and Modern India by Bipin Chandra. These were the NCRT books that I referred, old NCRT books. But I would also suggest you to go through the new NCRTs, 11th and 12th. These are very, very simple. At the same time, there are questions being directly asked from new NCRTs. That is why I am stressing on the new NCRTs also. But at the same time, you cannot avoid the old NCRT textbook. Old textbooks are very, very important. And after covering that, if you have time, then go through the new NCRT textbooks. But unfortunately, I could not go through the new NCRTs, and that reflected in my prelim score also last year because this question was directly asked from new NCRT textbook. That is the difference between Jagirdar and Zamindar. So, guys, if you have sufficient time, especially for the 2020 aspirants, you should go through the new NCRT. It is very, very simple. You can finish it within 2 days or so. Very, very simple textbooks, but definitely you can have a higher side in prelims because definitely there will be questions asked from new NCRTs. Then comes the Spectrum book for modern India. As I have earlier mentioned, I referred Bipin Chandra book for modern India, that is the NCRT textbook. Apart from that, I also use Spectrum for covering certain chapters. So these chapters I went through in detail from the Spectrum textbook, that is the administrative changes, economic impact of British rule in India, development of Indian press, development of education, brief note on aspects of British rule. This is a very, very important chapter. Education is also very important. And then comes civil and tribal uprising, peasants' movements, leaders involved in all the movements. All these things are very, very important. And then movement of the working class, ready reference data, which comprises of the details of INC sessions, precedents of INC, all these things you need to refer. So only these chapters I went through in detail from the Spectrum book, and for other chapters I saw only the summary part which will be there at the end of each chapters. So only the summary part I saw from Spectrum. For these chapters, I saw the Spectrum book in detail. Now comes economics. For economics, I referred the class notes. That is, I had enrolled for a coaching institute for my prelims as well as for mains. So the class notes I referred. And apart from that, I also referred Shankar Ganesh book for concepts. If you are not very much comfortable with economic terminologies, then definitely you can go through the Shankar Ganesh book because it explains each and every terminologies in a very, very simple manner, whether it be inflation, whether it be external sector, whether it be banking, whatever it is, it will be explained in a very, very simple manner. So definitely I would highly recommend you to refer Shankar Ganesh book for the concepts. And then I referred economy current affairs compilation. Any institute's compilation will definitely suffice. Any institute. I am not recommending a particular institute. Anything is fine. Then I watched videos of economic survey analysis. I did not go through the entire economic survey. I only went through the videos which were available in YouTube for the economic survey analysis. And last year in particular, the economic survey was published only after the prelims. So I was not able to go through the economic survey analysis during prelims preparation. Only after the prelims I referred for mains purpose. And then this is very, very important, referring RBI website for banking related portion. If you want to cover the banking related portions in a comprehensive way, then the best source is RBI website, where in detail they would have explained each and everything. These are the major topics: non-performing assets, priority sector lending. In the banks, it is like payment banks, NBFCs, small financial banks, wholesale banks, digital payment platforms, and cooperative banks. These things you can refer from RBI website, and I'm telling you, on a every year they keep on asking something or the other from the banking portion, so definitely you should not miss these portions, and you should refer the RBI website to get the overall idea about these institutions and these terms. Okay. So after economy, it is the environment. And in the case of environment, I referred NCRT class 12 biology textbook only for two chapters. One is the biotechnology and the other one is ecology chapter. Regarding ecology chapter, it is very, very useful for ecology related or environment related terminologies. Sometimes there were questions being directly taken from this chapter also. I think in 2014 there was a question regarding, they asked the definition of ecology. So like that you can get questions regarding terminologies also. For that, this chapter will help you a lot. And apart from that, I also went through Environment and Ecology book of Shankar IAS Academy, which was of which is an extremely helpful book for environment, because it is very, very comprehensive. At the same time, you have all the chapters also, like biodiversity related, climate change, everything is there. So you need not see anything else. This book alone is sufficient. However, it is very, very vast. So selective reading is what is required. And then comes analyzing important, not all, but important national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, tiger reserves, elephant reserves, and Ramsar sites using maps. So, what I did was, regarding national parks and wildlife sanctuaries, it is not possible to locate all the national parks or wildlife sanctuaries on the map, because there are more than 500 wildlife sanctuaries in India. So only the important national parks and wildlife sanctuaries I just located on map, and I made sure that I also noted the geographical features and specialities of each one. For example, if I am locating Corbett National Park, I would refer what are the important things under Corbett National Park. See, it is also a tiger reserve. Regarding geographical feature, the Ram Ganga River, which is a tributary of Ganga, passes through the reserve, and the vegetation is moist deciduous, and it is in the temperate zone, so subtropical pine vegetation. So these are the important features of Corbett National Park. So I'll be just aware of these features. So like that, for tiger reserves, example, like if I want to know about tiger reserves, these are the analysis what I do. That is, number of tiger reserves in India. There are around 50 tiger reserves and their location on the map. States that have tiger reserves, the states that do not have tiger reserves, I will have an analysis. And then states with maximum number of tiger reserves and maximum number of tigers. These are actually different states. So that I will have an analysis. And then about the location wise, northernmost, westernmost, easternmost, and southernmost tiger reserves. Then tiger reserves having rivers or mountain ranges close to, and then transboundary tiger reserves, which are the tiger reserves that are sharing boundary with other countries or between states, that I will take a note of it. Example, you have Valmiki Tiger Reserve. So such tiger reserves you need to see. And then vegetations in all these tiger reserves. You need to just have a rough idea on the vegetation, whether they have moist deciduous or dry deciduous or pine vegetation. That a rough idea is what is required. So like this, you need to analyze for tiger reserves, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, as well as Ramsar sites. Then elephant reserves also. Then comes Wikipedia for environment related policies, acts and all, which is of high relevance, like current affairs related topics. I used to just refer Wikipedia to get the crux of the act, major provisions of the act, major features of the act. Last year I had referred environmental impact assessment, coastal regulation zone, etc. This I referred even the websites also, website of Ministry of Environment and Forest, for getting the details about the coastal regulation zone and environmental impact assessment. Even our Shankar IAS Academy's Environment and Ecology book also covers all these aspects. But as it was current affairs related, in order to know in depth, I just referred the ministry's website. Then another important thing is the India State of Forest Report. This is a biennial report. It comes once in 2 years. So for 2020 aspirants, you can refer the same thing, India State of Forest Report 2019. I did not go through the entire report. I just saw the summary of India State of Forest Report. This, just type in Google summary of India State of Forest Report, and definitely you will be getting it. So that I referred. So these are certain questions asked in 2019 from the environment portion. First one is, which of the following national parks lie completely in the temperate alpine zone? So if you are aware of the location, definitely you can answer this question. Temperate alpine zone means it is Valley of Flowers for sure, which is in Uttarakhand. And then comes, consider the following states: Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Odisha. So, with reference to the states mentioned above, in terms of percentage of forest cover to the total area of the state, which of the following is the correct ascending order? So, the least forest cover to the state having highest forest cover we need to analyze. What's it's not there, so I shall tell you. So for this, actually the summary report, state of forest report, should have helped you for this question. So first one should be Maharashtra, second one should be Madhya Pradesh, third one should be Odisha, and the state having highest forest cover of the lot is Chhattisgarh. Okay, so these were the questions from environment. Then comes geography, my optional subject. So people who are not, aspirants who are not having geography as their optional subject, you need to go through the NCERT textbooks. One is the Fundamentals of Physical Geography. Then you have Indian Geography textbook. Then Indian People and Economy, and Fundamentals of Human Geography class 12. There is one Indian Geography also. Indian Geography NCERT textbook. So these hold the base for the geography subject, because it is as it is mentioned in the syllabus also: physical geography, economic, and social geography. After completing these textbooks, what I did, I went through Gochin Leong book for certificate physical and human geography book. So here I focused only on the climatic regions part, not the physical geography, because physical geography is almost well covered in the NCERT itself. So I did not focus much on that portion. So after reading all this, it is very, very important to go to the map part. So map reading is very, very important, because definitely you will be getting one or two questions from map part. So what I used to do, I just split it into two. One is the continent-wise analysis and the other one is India map analysis. Regarding continent-wise analysis, what I used to do, for example, if I am taking Asia today as the continent, I will be locating the important seas in Asia. That is like what you have, Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, and all. So these seas I will be locating. I'm just giving an example. And then countries surrounding these seas. What are the countries? Just have an analysis. Then important peaks. What are the mountain ranges in the continent? Their important peaks, highest peak and all you need to refer. And then islands associated with the continents. What type of island? Whether they are of volcanic origin, whether they are of coral origin that you need to see. And then the minerals, locating the minerals. Just a rough understanding is required because nowadays they don't ask much about the location of minerals and all. So just a rough understanding will do. Then important rivers and their tributaries. Only the important rivers. For Asia, you can focus more on the rivers, but regarding other continents and all, just important rivers, the countries through which they pass through, you can just have a note of it. And then this is very important. Middle East war-torn places. You should be well aware of the Middle East portion because of the war-torn area. They do ask questions from this portion. Like in 2014 or 15, they asked about Golan Heights. Where is Golan Heights? Like that, there was a question. And then important straits and gulfs. You need to locate the important straits as well as gulfs. They may ask you to arrange it in the west to east or north to south manner. So you should be aware of the location of the straits. Then comes the India map analysis. So this you can do it simultaneously when you're preparing for geography, especially for these chapters like important rivers, their course, their origin, their tributaries, their distributaries, the states through which they pass. This is one thing. And then about the national park, tiger reserves, wildlife sanctuaries, which we have already discussed in the environment part. Then important peaks of ranges, lakes, passes, especially for Himalayas, Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, glaciers in Himalayas. So these things you can just locate on Indian map. And then this is also very important. The states sharing boundaries. The state which shares a maximum boundary with maximum states. And the state that shares boundary with only one state. The states that share boundary, international boundaries. All these things you need to analyze. So map analysis questions, few examples I have given below. One is which of the following countries of Southwest Asia does not open to the Mediterranean Sea? So if you are aware of the countries surrounding Mediterranean Sea, you can easily answer this question. Answer is Jordan. So I told you that Middle East is very, very important. You should be aware of the exact locations of the states, gulfs, straits and all. Then this question. This seems to be a very, very easy question. However, if you are not aware of the location, then it would have been very difficult to answer. You would have felt some confusion to answer this question. The question is which of the following pairs of states of India indicates the easternmost and westernmost state? Easternmost is Arunachal Pradesh and westernmost is Gujarat. Then comes this as such like bordering country and sea you need to match. This also came in 2019. Then in the geography aspect, I also followed Kurukshetra magazine, which is a quite a vast magazine, but still I followed it from June 2018 to May 2019 because I had my exam in June 2019. So this is for prelims I'm saying. So why am I again stressing on Kurukshetra? Because questions were directly asked from Kurukshetra also. This was the question being asked, that is, with reference to the circumstances in Indian agriculture, the concept of conservation agriculture assumes significance. So there was a question on conservation agriculture being directly asked from Kurukshetra in Prelims 2018. So that formed the base for this question. So definitely you should refer Kurukshetra also. And for the aspirants who are writing or who are going to give prelims this 2020, and if you have not gone through Kurukshetra magazine, don't worry. If you have time, you can even go through the compilations of Kurukshetra. That will suffice. But for the 2021 aspirants, again I am stressing you should try to cover Kurukshetra magazines religiously, follow the magazines as such, because there are questions coming for prelims, and it will definitely help you for mains also. So please do that. Then comes international relations. I already said current events of national and international importance is being specifically mentioned in the syllabus, so it is very, very important. So what I did was I just referred organizations where India is part and India is playing a major role in such organizations, such as what are such organizations? One is SARC, then now BeamStech is there, SCO is there, then Indian Ocean Rim Association. For such things, I went through the members of those organization and then the basic features of that organization, voting patterns, if any, what they are dealing with. All these things I went through. If at all some summits were there, when these summits took place. And then organizations where India is not part to it, but still they hold very so much of importance in the international arena. For example, ASEAN is there, then OPEC is there. For such organizations, also I just took note of their functions, rough understanding of members, that is, which all continents members belong to, which all continents, is there any continent from which there are no members, like that I had an analysis, a rough analysis. For that you can just refer Wikipedia, there will be Google image, so you can just refer that to have a rough understanding of the members of each organization. And then comes to the important institutions such as World Bank, IMF, New Development Bank, AIIB, WTO, UN, ADB. These are all the important institutions which will be having relevance on a, like always these institutions have relevance due to some or the other aspect. So you need to know the structure, members who have ratified it, what are the reports being published by these organizations, specialized agencies of UN. So for this, you can refer any of the institute's international organizations textbook to have a basic idea. The organs of UN and all you need to know really well. Then comes the current affairs, any of the compilation of Indian international organization or international relations will do. Any institute's compilation would be sufficient for this. And then I googled on the important conventions, something related to current affairs, like whether it can be environment related, like Paris deal and all, had lot of importance when I was preparing. So that one is important. And then comes refugees related. Refugees hold a very, very important place now. So that also very important. And then nuclear related, human rights related, environment related conventions and all, labor related, all these conventions I just referred, googled, and I just went through these conventions, the important features, what and all I should see, whether India is a signatory to these conventions, then second one, whether it is a binding agreement or not, and then who are other signatories, just a rough understanding is what is required, and terms and conditions about these conventions. Last year, the Vienna Convention and all, was in news. So I just went through in detail about Vienna Convention. Then, this was one of the current affairs related questions being asked in 2014 prelims. With reference to grouping of countries known as BRICS, consider the following statements. So here, why 2014? You have any idea why they asked this question? Because the NDB, New Development Bank of BRICS, was formed in 2014. So that is why a question from BRICS was being asked. So even though there was no question on NDB, there was a question on the about the parent organization, that is BRICS. Then comes art and culture, one of the vast portions. So here, what I did was I covered only the NCRT textbooks. That is, one is Introduction to Indian Art, and the other one is Exploring the Craft Traditions of India. So these two chapters I just went through, two textbooks I just went through, and then after that I referred Nitin Singhania book. But you know that Nitin Singhania book is a very huge one. So I just did selective reading for this book. So what I did, I selected certain topics such as classical dance, folk songs, classical music, UNESCO intangible cultural heritage, temple architecture, paintings. So for paintings, what I did, I whatever paintings are covered under GI tag, that I gave extreme focus. And GI tags, there will be a lot of products covered under GI tag. So I just used to give glance. That's all. I never went through in a serious way. A glance is what is required, so that it should be familiar to you. That's all. Then it is the science and technology chapter, I mean the portion. So for science and technology, what I did, I referred only the current affairs compilation of science and technology to be in tune with the subject. And apart from that, I also focused, I took notes from science and tech portion of Hindu's newspaper. That I felt it is very, very important. And as such, I did not refer any NCRTs because nowadays they are not asking any basic science based questions. They are focusing more on current affairs. So 1 or 2 years current affairs will definitely suffice for the science and technology portion. Now, one thing I am stressing is on practicing previous year question papers. Why? One of the reasons is it helps in analyzing the pattern. If there is a pattern, like definitely UPSC is following one or the other kind of pattern, that you will get to know only when you see the previous year questions. And the other one is certain questions are also getting repeated in prelims as well as for mains. So regarding prelims, I can give you an example. This question, which of the following kingdoms were associated with the life of Buddha? Options: Avanti, Gandhara, Kosala, Magadha. This question was asked in 2014 prelims. This question, which of the following kingdoms were associated with the life of Buddha? 2015 prelims, the very next year itself, this question was being asked. Options, see the options: Avanti, Gandhara, Kosala, Magadha. Is there any difference? It is the same question, right? So, like this, you get such surprises also. You do get repeated questions in prelims exam as well as for mains also. So, if such questions come, then you are lucky enough. So, definitely each and every mark matters for prelims as well as for mains. So, please do not ignore previous year question papers. Do practice them. Make sure that you have answers for all the questions. So there are subject wise previous year practice questions and all available in the websites. Google also, just refer in Google itself, just type and see, it will be available. You can just practice them, and that can definitely help you for knowing the pattern. And also, at times, like as I mentioned, if you are lucky, you may get repeated questions also. Then about the mocks, practicing papers like mock tests. What I did, I started attempting mocks after completing my basic books, that is the NCRT. After setting a base, then I started attempting mocks. So, how I did, initially I practiced one mock per week. Like for the weekdays, I used to prepare, and in the weekend, say Saturday or Sunday, I used to practice one mock. And while nearing prelims, say like if I have only 1 month for prelims, then what I will be doing? I started practicing mocks on alternate days. Like if I am doing a mock on Monday, Tuesday I will be spending for analyzing the answer key for that particular question paper. And then on Wednesday I will be doing another mock. Thursday I will be spending for analyzing the mock's answer key. So like that I used to do a month before prelims. And then practicing alone will not suffice. So just practicing mocks will not take you anywhere. You need to analyze in a deeper way what are the wrongs committed, what is your strength, what are your negatives, what are your positives. All these things you need to analyze. I'm sure that everyone will be not comfortable with all the portions. Talking about me, I was not very comfortable with history and also the science and technology part. So I used to focus more on these portions. So, like that, you can identify which portion is lacking for you, and it also helps you in eliminating the choices. Also, you will know the strategy for eliminating the choices when you do a lot of mocks, and then it can also help in avoiding careless mistakes. It's very natural that you will be committing 2 to 3 careless mistakes in the tests, whatever test it may be, but definitely, when you are appearing for a lot of mocks, you will get to know where you are making careless mistakes. For example, for me, it was this correct, incorrect statement, They may be asking about incorrect statement, but I will be giving answer for correct statement. So, like that, I used to make mistakes. So, please avoid such careless mistakes, and for that, appearing mocks will definitely help you. So what I used to do in the final days, like of my preparation, I used to attend all the free all India level mock tests being conducted by various institutions. Almost all the institutions will be conducting online tests. I used to appear for that. I have appeared for. I have also appeared for the Unacademy's mock tests also. So how much, like more than 35 to 40 or more than that? So I say around 50 mocks I would have appeared before prelims. So it gives you a practice. It can also boost your confidence, and it will also help you in analyzing your negatives and positives. So attempting mocks is an indispensable thing in civil services preparation. Now comes the current affairs. Regarding current affairs, the first thing is about newspaper. I did not focus much on the newspaper, to be frankly speaking. It was only a base for me. Because what I believe is newspaper can only give you a gist of information, and for detailed analysis you need to refer current affairs compilations. So I used to give only half an hour, maximum 45 minutes for newspaper on a daily basis. I focused more on the editorial analysis because that will be helpful for the mains, and also the science and tech portion as I had earlier mentioned. And then I banked on two subject-wise current affairs compilations. Any institution's current affairs compilation will do. So I banked on two compilations because one I used for study purpose and the other I used for the revision purpose. After completing one compilation, I would revise using the other compilation. So what are the benefits? One thing is your revision will take place. At the same time, you can also get some additional information from the other compilation. And then for the budget, as I earlier mentioned, I referred highlights of PIB. And Yojana and Kurukshetra I religiously followed. And mocks also, you can appear this current affairs mocks and all that can really help you to be in touch with the current affairs. Then regarding CSAT, as I already mentioned, it is only a qualifying paper, but still complete ignorance can lead to a disaster. So definitely you should at least practice or attempt 4 to 5 mocks in order to be in touch with the subject. And for more understanding, that is, if you are not from science or maths background, then you can make use of this book, R.S. Agarwal, for aptitude as well as for logical reasoning, quantitative aptitude and logical reasoning. And you can just refer the sample questions alone of this book. You need not work out all the questions and all, that is not possible also. So just refer the sample questions from each chapter, that will be enough. Then, talking about my schedule, I used to have weekly as well as monthly targets. I did not fix time as such, like 12 hours of preparation or 8 hours of preparation, even though I had a well defined timetable, but still I did not give much focus on the duration. But I gave focus on my targets. And make sure that your targets are not over ambitious, because it's very natural that you will come across certain unproductive days also, zero productive days. You don't feel like studying at all, you don't feel like doing anything, you will be just thinking about something, you will be spending time like that. So such days are very natural, you don't have to worry about it. But the only thing is that you need to accommodate such days also while preparing your timetable. And then how I scheduled one day, I used to divide it like this. And I used to deal with multiple subjects. I did not focus on one subject daily. Like I used to deal with multiple subjects, so that that will definitely help me in overcoming my boredom and exhaustion. So, say this was my schedule a month before prelims. Like for 1 month, I used to prepare in this way. That is, I'm an early riser, so I used to start my day at 4:30 or 5. So, first 3 hours, 5 to 8, that is before breakfast, I used to refer one general studies subject. It can be anything, maybe polity or whatever be. And then from 9:30 to 1:30, that is after my breakfast till lunch, I used to cover another general studies subject. And then post lunch, 2:30 to 4:30, I will be appearing for a mock, 2 hours mock. And then, as I said, like one day mock, the other day analysis at the same timing, like 2:30 to 4:30, I used to spend for the analysis of that particular mock. That is the key analysis. And then I'll be taking a break for 1 hour, 1 or 1.5 hours. And then 6 to 9, 3 hours, I will be devoting this time for current affairs related things. It can be compilation or Yojana, Kurukshetra, or some reports, whatever it may be. And then post my dinner, for half an hour or 45 minutes, I will be analyzing maps. As I said, I will be fixing one thing. Like today, I'm doing Asian continent. Means all these things, whatever is coming under Asian continent, islands, mountain ranges, peaks, important seas, countries surrounding the sea. All these things I will be just taking note of it. Or maybe it can be schemes as per the target. I will be doing that. So this used to be my timetable for 1 month before the prelims. And I did not focus much on the mains when the prelims was nearing. I fully focused on prelims. However, before that, I used to simultaneously prepare for prelims as well as for mains. But just a month before prelims, I used to give focus fully on prelims itself. Then, on the day of exam, are you getting tensed? So, first thing is make sure that you had a good sleep for 7 hours. I can easily say that, I know, but very difficult to implement. But still, you should not get worried. You make sure that you had a very light dinner and sleep for 7 hours or how much ever. A peaceful sleep is what is required. Then comes, this is very, very important. Do not skip your breakfast. Breakfast is very important because at least a glass of milk and something solid you should have. Because See, there are two exams. One is the general studies in the morning, and then in the afternoon, you will be having your CSAT exam. So, you should never get exhausted. So, it is very important. You have been preparing for so many months for this exam. So, please don't take such risk. You should have your breakfast. And then take a water bottle inside the classroom and take regular sips to avoid exhaustion. That can freshen your mind also. Don't forget about that. You can take water bottle inside the classroom. And you will be receiving all your answer sheet, MCQ sheet, as well as your question paper. After that, don't immediately look at the question paper. What you should do is take a deep breath. That can definitely improve your concentration after receiving your MCQ sheet as well as question paper. And then, regarding marking the answers, I would seriously recommend you to mark the answers on the question paper first. So, how you need to do is first you mark the answers for the questions. For that, like you're very much sure about the answers, means first you mark those questions answers, and then wherever you have confusion between two options, for that you can just encircle the serial number for those questions. And where you have confusion between three or four choices, for that you can put some other sign. It can be either plus or minus, whatever it be, your own thing. You can put another so that it will be differentiated. So while going rounds, like for the first round, you will be marking all those whatever you know really well. And then for the second one, you will be again seeing questions where you have confusion between two choices. So like that, while going the rounds, you can focus only on these encircled or the questions where you have put the tick like that. So such differentiation is very much essential so that you can systematically answer the questions. And then make sure that you read the questions twice to avoid careless mistakes. I said this was one mistake I used to commit, correct or incorrect statements. They may highlight incorrect and correct, but still I used to make that mistake. So definitely read the question twice. Then while reading the choices also, just try start reading from option D to option A so that you make sure that you have read all the options. So that is also important. And then make sure that you start marking the answers on the answer sheet the very next hour itself. So this marking the questions answers on the question paper, you should only take maximum of 1 hour 15 minutes. And after that, make sure that you have adequate time for filling your MCQ sheet. You should, because that is very, very important, you know. So that need to be done. And then try to attempt 80 to 85 questions so that you can comfortably clear prelims. Otherwise, you will be like a cat on the wall. You will not know whether you will be clearing prelims or not. And definitely, you will not start your mains examination, and that can affect your mains preparation a lot. So, in order to comfortably clear prelims, you need to answer 80 to 85 questions and make sure that you reduce your negatives. There should be only around 15 to 17, less than 20 negatives. Then only it is easier for you to clear prelims. So for that, the mock test can really help you in reducing your negatives. So this is all about civil services detailed prelims preparation and strategy. So this is what I want to say that uh, dream dream doesn't become reality through a magic. You need to really work hard for it. If you have the determination and if you are working hard and if you have a systematic way of preparation, then definitely there are high chances for you to clear this examination And for prelims also it applies, because prelims, it is not vast and all. You have a confined syllabus, so just go through the standard books, NCRT, and also try to do as much as mocks as possible, and this can really bring good hopes for you, like you can clear prelims examination in an easier way. And again, I would like to tell you that if you are using this referral code, capital A, capital M, capital M, and capital U, definitely you will be getting a discount of 10 percentage for the subscription. So thank you. I hope you like this session. Uh, See, bye.